Joining me now to discuss this is New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Congressman Van Drew, we appreciate you being with us. In President Biden's primetime address to the nation, he listed a few of the actions that he's pushing Congress to pass. Take a listen to this.
And the House is planning even more action next week. Safe storage requirements, the banning of high-capacity magazines, raising the age to buy an assault weapon to 21, federal red flag law, codifying my ban on ghost guns that don't have serial numbers and can't be traced, and tougher laws to prevent gun trafficking and straw purchases. This time, we have to take the time.
Well, Congressman, before we dig into those measures, I want to start by getting your reaction to the president's address.
To be honest with you, it was fake, it was phony, it was political, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, what's something we don't talk about? Over the Memorial Day weekend, there were 150 murders around the country in big cities. And we don't talk about that because it's the Democratic laws that let people in and out of jail like a turnstile, the Democratic laws that change the way that we have bail with their bail reform. So we have people out with 19 and 20 priors. Let's get law and order back in place. Let's get a real bail system that works, number one. Number two, we have a mental health issue in this country, and we have to stop talking about it, and we really have to start prioritizing it and incentivizing care for mental health issues, and that would help a great deal. Number three, we need safer schools. I have a strong schools plan, which what it would do is basically if you walk up to a school, there is only one entranceway you can go in. There'd be a resource officer there who is trained, who is certified, police officer basically, or a former veteran that was trained and certified to make sure we're safe. You'd have to be buzzed in. Once you were buzzed in, you'd be buzzed in into an ante room, and they would have a chance to make sure that you're the right person to be there and that you're not carrying anything you shouldn't with you. If you are, you're stopped right there. You can't get through, and that would be made of bulletproof glass so he couldn't shoot his way through. If everything was okay, then you're buzzed in again and you get through. What they're doing here is just another way to take guns away. You could take the ARs away, for example, and you know what's going to happen? They're going to use hunting rifles, or people have done mass murders with machetes, or even with vehicles. There's so many ways to do that. You have to get to the underlying causes. The bottom line is the Democratic Party, step by step, truly wants to take our guns away, and it won't make it better. It's still going to happen.
Their argument, though, Congressman Van Drew, is that it's the assault rifles that cause the mass carnage that basically, penetrate and destroy tissue to the point where even in young children, their bodies are unrecognizable and their parents have to identify them through the DNA. So is banning assault rifles and high-capacity magazines, is that a non-starter for Republicans, period?
Well, it's a non-starter because it's not really going to work. Because guess what? It's illegal to kill people now. Criminals know that. They don't care. They are able to alter a regular magazine to make it a high-capacity magazine, even if it's not sold that way. They can use a hunting rifle, which can be devastating when it obviously hits somebody. Hollow point bullets are out there, and they could utilize that too. That isn't the answer. It's making the school safe so that bad people can't get in the school. It's making sure that we don't have criminals roaming our streets everywhere, where 150 people were killed over Memorial Day weekend. Why aren't people talking about that more? 150 innocent people murdered. Nobody's talking about that. That matters. How come we talk about mental health, but we never deal with it?
Well, what about raising the age limit? That's one of the measures that House Democrats are proposing, and the president as well, raising the age limit from 18 to 21, because a lot of the perpetrators of these mass atrocities have been under the age of 21.
And you know what? If you want to do that, then I guess you should tell all those that are 18 in our military services that they can no longer be, because they're allowed to go around the world under horrific situations and fight for America, die for America, and sometimes have to kill other people for America. I don't buy it. These are phony, fake ways of not really doing anything at the end of the day. They sound good. They got great titles on their bills, but like so many other things they've done, it's not going to do the job. I have a plan. I just laid it out. That would do the job.
So the House Judiciary Committee held a very contentious debate this week going over those 8 different pieces of legislation under the Protecting Our Kids Act. And we certainly saw the divide there between Democrats and Republicans, a lot of pushback from Democrats on what you're proposing, which is hardening schools as targets. Where do you think, is there any opportunity for consensus when it comes to the House legislation? The Senate already seems to be drafting legislation with the core 4, this group of bipartisan senators, because they know that that legislation in the House is likely not going to pass in the Senate, with 10 Republicans needing to sign on to it to pass it with a majority.
So how fake and phony of it is it that the Democratic majority in the House is putting through a bill that they know absolutely will not go through the Senate, number one. Number two, why wouldn't you want to make schools safer? Regardless of whether you want to take guns or don't take guns or whatever you want to do, why not make people feel assured when they drop their child off to school that there's going to be a trained, certified police officer there, that people are not going to be able to get in who have malintent and would do evil, because they're going to have to go through a process through the door and be buzzed in a very specific way, which we don't have now. Why wouldn't you support that? Everybody should support that. Everybody should be on the same page with that. That's a major improvement. Why wouldn't you want to get gangbangers and people that have 19 and 20 and more priors off the streets? And why wouldn't you want a bail system that really works? Why are we letting bad people out over and over again who are committing crimes over and over again? This is all fake and phony. Let's do the real thing. Let's really fix this situation so we make America safe again. We weren't here where we are now before. Things were way better, and we're definitely deteriorating in so many ways. And it's because of the way we're going about this.
All right, Congressman Van Drew, we appreciate you briefing us on your proposal. We'll continue to follow that legislation, and it's going to be a busy week in Congress this week, both in the Senate and the House.
Yes, it will.
We appreciate you being with us.
Good to be with you.